Hey, this is Matthew Brenner over at Double Your Dojo. I am here with Mr. John Cardinale. Say hi.
Hello, guys. Hello, Facebook team.
So thanks so much for coming on here with me today. I want to share your journey because I think it's like so remarkable about how like young you started and then how you got involved professionally, kind of like what you've accomplished up to now. So if you're watching this video, you're going to want to stick through to the end because you're going to see kind of like where he is now and where he's going to be going moving forward at such a young age. Especially you're going to want to show this to maybe like your younger instructors who don't really know what's possible, or maybe like you're stuck in a spot, you don't really realize what's possible, and you're going to see how it is if you have the right systems. So before we start, Mr. John, can you give us like just like a little bit of background about like who you are, how you got started in karate, just like your martial arts and professional background?
Yes, sir. Of course. So I started training in martial arts when I was 5 years old. It was something that I just really loved, and I trained pretty much all the way through elementary school, middle school, high school. However, I never thought of it as a career at all. Like, I taught at the school twice a week, a few hours, and I enjoyed it, but I always thought that's not really an option. And then when I was 19, I was a freshman in college. My instructor came to me, presented like the opportunity of like, hey, this could also be your career, your calling. And with like the right systems, here I am 5 years later, managing a successful business that we have one other.
We'll get to that later. Don't give away too much soon.
Got it.
Okay, so let's start kind of like at the beginning. So why? I know that you came to me a bunch of times and asked me for advice, like about what you should do. So what made you decide in the end to jump into martial arts as a career when you were in college, and obviously there's a lot of other opportunities? Like, why choose a career in martial arts?
Yeah, so I know I talked with you a ton about this. I would say the biggest thing for me was lifestyle, and like seeing someone like yourself, someone who's like a mentor, and being like, oh, they have the lifestyle that I'm looking for. I need to emulate what they're doing, so that way, like, I have that. That was a really good like vision. I could see it in front of me. Of it's someone who made great money, who was like making an impact every day, got to go and like help people, and also had like the freedom to travel, to do nice things. To live their life the way they wanted to live it, not in a 9-to-5 corporate job where you had 2 weeks off a year.
Okay, cool. So when you first started your martial arts school, obviously you had like help, right? The action karate system helping you. You had my brother, Solomon Brenner, me, and like a ton of people in your network. But I think it's never always as smooth sailing as people think it is in the beginning. So tell me some of the things like you struggled with in the beginning when you first started.
I would say the biggest thing I struggled with, number one, is I was 19. So like, communication was a challenge. Imagine being like a 19-year-old. I think learning how to work with someone else full time was definitely a challenge, and like making sure that was like the right teammate. To give you some examples, time was a challenge. I was in college, so I would go from class from 9 to 12, drive an hour into the city of Philadelphia, and then work there till like 9 or 10. So the day was just jam-packed the entire time.
Got it. So you didn't have like a lot of like free time?
Not at all.
So can you tell me how, even though you're really busy, right? You're in school, but at 19, open up a business is like unbelievable, right? Most people don't even have the courage to do that in their 40s, right? Let alone teenage years. But you somehow made it work, right? And your time was split, and you had to still want to graduate, but obviously you want your business to succeed. So can you tell me how you were able to like recruit new students, even though your time was split, how you were able to recruit new students through like the 5-day system, the way we recruit students through daycares?
Of course. So of course we were using like traditional marketing through Facebook ads, but what really like caused us to explode was the 5-day fundraiser, or 5-day program that we would do with daycares in our area. So in short, we would reach out to them, and at first it would be, hey, let's get acquainted in some way, and talk to them about how, hey, we've set up this program with a lot of other daycares. I apologize, I haven't reached out to you guys. We would come in, get to meet them, and we would teach martial arts classes there for 5 days. All the funds would go directly to daycare, so they loved it because they were able, like the parents were able to fundraise in a way that wasn't like selling candles or something silly like that. And at the end of it, they got to come to our school and earn their white belt. So the parents were getting a great value out of martial arts. The daycare loved it because they were fundraising in a really awesome way. And it was great for us too, because at the end, these families got to come to our school and really see what our program was about. And that's really what like helped our school explode.
Cool. So when you say help their school explode, do you mean you're able to convert a lot of those people into members, like paying students?
I imagine like, we say like there's like cold leads, warm leads, like these leads were like super hot. They had not only already made the choice to, hey, we're going to invest some money into this program, like at least at the daycare. They then said, hey, we're going to invest our time, come to their school. And then they got to see like the magic of our program and their child doing things that most of them, their child had never shown that kind of discipline, that kind of self-control before.
Cool. And I think the cool part about that is like you didn't have to enroll any of them like individually, right? You have to do like a bunch of different things. You're able to do it all at once, right? So do you feel like that helped you save time than you would if you did everything like on their own?
100%, 100%. Obviously much quicker to enroll a bunch of students at once rather than, doing a bunch of individual intros. Those are great too, but just like a, different time-wise.
Sure. So how do you feel like your life has changed since you're able to, obviously you go to your school, like there's never just one way, right? This is like one of the ways is like really helpful. And you've grown your school in other ways, I'm sure, right? Like word of mouth, maybe some like online ads you've done and, community events, stuff like that. And all that stuff's important. We still do that, right? We just know this other method also works like super, super well. Especially since it doesn't cost us a dime, right? And you can do it over and over and over again. But like my question is like, how's your life actually changed? Like you're able to, still do this, still grow your school, graduate college. How's your life changed since you first started?
Again, totally different. When I was 19, I lived with my parents. I was, you're 19-year-old in every way of my life. Since then, like, using these strategies, and of course, like, I know lots of people say marketing is like the pillars, you want each one. I've purchased my own home about 3 or 4 months ago, which is pretty awesome. It's exactly like the vision that I wanted at the time of, hey, we have lots of students who love training. I get to be like the best part of their day for so many of them. The financially, doing well, and the freedom to go on vacations, relax when I want to, do the things that I want to, and make my own schedule.
So I think that answers the question a little bit, but you didn't tell me really how your life changed. Like, yeah, you got older, right? Yeah, you made some more money, which is cool. So, let's go back. So how much money did you make, you think, your first year?
Negative money. Truly, like, I think that I didn't pull us. I had some business partners and I didn't take a salary at all. So that this way, like, the amount of money that I put in, plus like the salary I wasn't taking, could kind of like offset a little bit of like my debt to the company.
Got it. So you invested in yourself, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So how much you make a year
now? Off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure. So I'll give you a range. I would say like 150 to 175.
Okay, cool. And how many for your peers, let's say your peers are around the same age group as you are now, what percentage wise where do you think you're at? Like, you think the lower end, higher end?
Yeah, I'm at the point with my friends where they all just say I'm very lucky. There's like, I have one friend who's probably like 6 years older who's in my range. Excluding like, yourself, like the people like, you who are like in the action karate world. I have one friend, but he's much older. Everyone else, like, it's kind of at the point where they're like, oh, you're so lucky, but they didn't see all like the years of hard work, the 6 days a week, all the hours put in to try to get better and improve.
So how's that actually change your life? Like, you're making more money now, right? Like, you have like a full staff now, right? That teaches your classes. So you're not teaching every single class. And you know where your students are coming from, right? Like, you have the daycares. Like, I know you're doing one already right now to get new students. Like, how's your life actually changed?
I think my life has changed that I think at the beginning of starting any business, there's stress. And I was really fortunate that I had awesome mentors like yourself. But I know during COVID, I definitely felt the stress of like, oh my gosh, is this going to work? So there's like, this has helped me be able to have like faith that, hey, this isn't going to all fall apart. We have a way to get new students. We have a way to grow the business. In the beginning, it feels so much like scramble mode all the time. So I think that my life has changed in the sense of now it's like, how can we work on the business and get better rather than how can we be in the business and build something as fast as we can.
Got it. So it sounds like really it's just confidence. Confidence what you're
Yeah,
doing is going to work and you're going to be okay, even when there's a little bit of a downturn or unforeseen, or maybe you have a bad month, but you have the confidence. So having that confidence, how does that impact you?
it affects everything you do. You know, when you have like financial or business stress, I think it like comes into every single thing you do, like your relationships at home, the way you interact with your students, the way you interact with your staff. That like calmness and that confidence of, hey, face a challenge, okay, great, we're gonna get through that. Like, you know, we're gonna come out on the other side stronger. The way forward is through the challenge. That's only going to help everyone and your school get better. I think that affects every part of your life. And we all know stress isn't good for your health either.
Got it. So it gave you the confidence in your relationships, your workmates, really like for everyone you do that like, okay, even going through something, like things are gonna be okay.
100%. For me, like I think that my martial arts and business is such a big part of my life. It's kind of like the keystone in the middle, and when that's like shaky, it kind of affects everything. So even though there's always ups and downs, that middle is rock solid. That confidence of, hey, we're gonna get through this. It's all gonna be good. We'll come out on the other side better is so important.
So where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't, let's say, start a martial arts get involved in martial arts professionally, or like you were never able to grow your school, like you weren't able to fill your mats, right, with students from daycares or other areas, like where do you think you'd be right now?
That's a great question. So I did graduate with a bachelor's in marketing. So I would probably try to pursue something with that, go into some form of like selling real estate. However, I'm someone who like firmly believes like the reason that I am here today is not that I'm like some super genius and I'm so great at teaching martial arts. It's that I listen to people who have some really great answers and really great systems of how to get better, kind of like this daycare thing. So I would hopefully have the insight of, hey, I need to find someone, maybe it's not martial arts related, but someone who's going to teach me and show me like, that same vision in another way.
So let's say you run the martial arts school on your own and you didn't have the support or didn't have people to ask questions to. Where do you think you'd be?
There's no way it would work. I can't even imagine it. I feel like I'm someone, that I feel like at this point you kind of get annoyed with me when I call of how many questions I ask. My whole thought is, how can I ask the most questions, even if it annoys people? Okay, because I'd rather ask questions for people who've done it than like make the mistakes with my own students. Like that's kind of my thought. And there's so many times I would ask a question, be like, oh, I kind of already know the answer, and then I would get an answer, be like, I am totally wrong. Really glad I asked that question. I can't imagine trying to figure this out all on my own. I don't think it would work.
So, what would you say to someone who's maybe on the fence about either checking out one of our programs or W Dojo or Fuel Your School, or is looking for extra help from me or one of my coaches? Like, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about getting help?
Yeah. So number one, having a mentor, I think makes all the difference. Like that's what's going to take you from like point A to point B. And there's a lot of hard work in between, but knowing that someone's like done it before, how to model your business after, that's the best decision you'll make. I know that sometimes I'll go to seminars and speak with people and I can hear like in their conversation of them talking about their school that they're in their own way of success. Like their vision can only take them so far. They need someone really to mentor them and take them to the next level. For me, it's made all the difference in everything I do. It's brought me to the next level in pretty much every area of my life. I would say even like, outside of the martial arts school financially, like making the right decisions there, having someone to guide you along the way. Think if one of your students said, I'm going to go learn karate on YouTube, you would like laugh and be like, that's going to be good. If you learn from a teacher, it's exactly the same thing. Like, we teach our students, we need someone to be teaching us systems as well.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think it's so cool and how old are you right now?
24.
Yeah, 24. The fact that you don't even know how much money you made last year, I think is a testament to like, A, probably your accounting skills, but B, just that like, you made like more than enough money than you really need or want. You bought a house. And how much was your house?
480.
Yeah, so basically $500,000 home at 24. I know you have other people paying your mortgage for you, which I showed you how to do. how to house hack, which I think is awesome. And, if you made $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year, like most martial arts school owners do, like you would know exactly how much you made because you'd be like kind of living paycheck to paycheck. But because you made so much, like, there's 140 and 170, probably not going to really change your life, right? So I think that's really, really cool. Thank you so much for sharing. If you're watching this today and you're thinking about getting on board, you're on the fence, reach out to me or someone of my or one of my coaches. I'll show you how to get started in our program. See if Double Your Dojo can help you, like it helped John, and I can help you mentor or at least point you in the right direction if I can't help. Thank you so much, John. I'll catch you later. Have a great day. Bye.
See you guys.